Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer board game review. And today's game up on the tabletop is Saurozoic Warriors Arena Battleground game. This is a 2 to 4 player game that takes roughly about an hour or so to play and is for ages 13 and up. In the game, you are playing as one of 4 different warriors, or at least what I have here, and it is a battleground combat King of the Hill style game where you roll dice, use those dice for basic actions or to play actions from your hand, gain glory, which you can spend for fans that will give you bonus actions throughout the game, and your objective is to knock out all of your opponents from the ring. The last player standing is the winner, and that can happen in a multitude of ways. Either you defeat them, or maybe even the volcano itself does. That's pretty much the idea of the game. We'll talk about the setup, how to play, and of course, my review. Let's get into it. To set up the game, the first thing you do is you take the main game board out and place it within reach of all players. Then go ahead and take this volcano-looking style piece and place it right in the middle of the game board. There's also a number of these treasure chests you'll have. Go ahead and shuffle them up face down and select 6 of them at random and place them on the white bordered spaces adjacent to the volcano and along the edges of it, basically. And then you'll select the number of players that are playing the game. For each player playing the game, they will take one of the characters and select one of the spaces on the game board. There's a 1, 2, 3, and a 4 spot. You can place them anywhere you'd like. Then go ahead and take the player board for each of the characters that each player has chosen. So I, of course, have the blue character. I've placed them over here. And so I have this character, Javan Mosa, placed in front of me. Start with 10 HP and 3 glory, and then you'll also gain a deck of cards. Your deck is going to be based on the color of the character. Shuffle that deck up, and then take 3 cards from the deck. And finally, take the player aid card and place it within reach, just so you can see what's going on. As for fans, there's a little fan board. You'll shuffle up each individual fan deck. There's a 2 deck and a 1 deck. And then after you have done so, you're going to take the 1 deck and deal out 4 cards onto the fan board here. If you ever get any volcanic eruptions or rumble cards, go ahead and set those aside until you get 4 cards that aren't. Then take the rest of those cards and place them under the number 1 deck. Place the 1 deck on top of the 2 deck, and that will create the main deck where you'll place it on the crowd deck here. On the other side of the game board here is a volcanic eruption area. Leave that some room to place cards down. Place the additional blue dice, bonus dice, and volcanic dice separate. And if you're not playing with any other characters, and of course treasure tokens, you can set those aside as well. And then from there, you're pretty much ready to begin. Last thing I suppose is if you have these Saurozoic cards with a little exclamation point, set these aside. You may use them if you get a nice lucky roll. The Warrior Battle Arena is played in turns, and once I take my turn, the player to my left in clockwise order will take their turn, and it will simply rinse and repeat until there's only 1 warrior standing. On a player's turn, you'll go through all of the steps and phases of your turn, and then you will pass your turn to the next player, and they will go through all the steps and phases of their turn. And let's talk about a turn. So to start with, I'll be this blue character, and I'll place him right next to me so you can see him pretty well, and I'm going to start the turn. I'll receive all glory or any wounds from board positioning. Well, certain spaces might include board positioning, wounds in board positioning spaces that doesn't exist here for my specific prototype, I'm guessing will, or of course the volcano. But glory, if you're ever on a volcanic space that is not the middle, you'll get 2 glory, which is the gold indicator over here, and you always start with 3, but you'll go up to 5, or whatever you're on, plus 2, whenever you're on any of these outside spaces. If you're ever on the middle space when you start your turn, you'll gain 2 glory, and you're also going to gain a bonus volcano die that you'll roll as part of your attack. After you have done that, you'll go ahead and buy any crowd cards that you want. The crowd cards are the cards that we created from the crowd deck. The top left-hand corner is the cost. The bottom is going to be what the card does. These are your fans after you purchase them. So they come from the crowd, and when you purchase them, they become a fan. You can use these, they don't count as part of your hand limit, and when you do use them, you'll add them to one of the 3 spaces on the top of your game board. Well, I have 3 currency, so I'll go ahead and spend 3 of them, and I will take this guy here, an olive vendor, and I'll set him to the side. He says that I can recover 2 health when I use him, and he costs 3, and he's an olive vendor. So if I was missing health right now, perhaps I was at 8, I might spend him to go to 10. Whenever you spend a card that you have previously purchased, you can take that and place it under one of the 3 spaces of your game board. to signify you have a fan in that specific area. And if you ever get 3 fans in that specific area, what you'll do is you'll discard 2 of them, flip over 1 of them, and now that area is unlocked, and it is a bonus, a passive bonus for the rest of the game that your character will have, such as gaining bonus HP, perhaps rolling extra dice, being able to damage your opponents in certain ways, bite backs for instance, or gaining some type of defense. Each character has kind of its own unique passive abilities that you will gain. Once you have bought any crowd cards that you want, usually it'll be 1, maybe 2 of them, then you're going to go to rolling your attack dice. Every dinosaur starts with 5, and you'll roll these dice and you'll play Yahtzee. You'll roll 5, select any you'd like to not keep, roll those again, and then select any you'd not like to keep again and roll them once more. So you get to roll dice 3 times, but every time you roll them, you can select a number to set aside and then roll the rest. If you like your roll, you can just keep exactly what you have. Once you have selected the dice, got what you wanted, hopefully, you're going to then go ahead and play action cards. Your action cards, the 3 that you start with in your hand, on the top left-hand corner, once again, will have a cost, and the cost will be based on the symbols that you rolled on the dice. So, for instance, if I wanted to play, this headlong spear, it would require 2 swords and 1 bone. So if I had rolled those, I could spend those dice for those icons to play this card here. The card is going to have a name on the top right, in the middle it'll have an ability, and on the bottom left-hand side it'll give you 2 bonuses, the ability to attack or strike with it, and the ability to move. You'll do both, but you have to choose which one you want to do before the other, and if you use movement, you have to move as far as you want up to that number, and then you stop. You can't, if you have 4 movement, you can't move 2, then use your strike, and then move 2 more. It has to be all or nothing. And so the card will basically work like this. I've got 4 movement and 3 strike. Well, if I start here, I can move 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be the end of my movement. And if I wanted to strike, maybe there was a character adjacent to me, I could use the strike 3 to do 3 damage to that player there, and they would take 3 damage. And we'll talk about combat in a bit here, but that's the basic idea of how these cards work. And of course, there's also benefits to the playing cards like these, like the defender is not able to strike back at you or bite back at you when you play this card specifically on them. So that's how you'll use all these cards here. Spend the pips on the die or the icons on the die to play these cards here and gain the benefits. Usually it will be moving and striking always, and then some unique benefit or bonus, as well as key terms like pulling people and grappling people to basically attack your opponent. Let's say that you didn't roll any symbols for any of the cards though, or you had a few left over. Well, a number of these guys are going to give you bonuses to what you can do on your roll. For instance, glory, the little wreath here, is going to score you 1 glory. Health, the little heart symbol, will give you 1 HP. The Hex Plus is a wild that you can choose another die that you have previously rolled and attach it to that die, and it's the same exact symbol. And strike is basically a secondary attack. It looks kind of like a crescent moon with like slashes through it. If you have a number of these, like let's say I had 2 of these guys here, I would do 2 damage to an opponent if they were adjacent to me, just like I would with the cards here. And those are pretty much it, I believe, that you can actually roll as bonuses. The other ones are just simply used for completing action cards. Once you have played all of your action cards and dice, that will end your action card round. Also, don't forget that you can set these in any order that you want. Let's say you have a card and 2 unique actions. Maybe it's gaining health and striking. You can gain health, use the card that you spent the icons on, and then you can strike afterwards. It's really up to you. But you'll move on to the drawing back up. This is like the refresh phase. Let's say that I played 2 cards. Well, I would draw back up to my limit of 3. And then if there are any fans that I had gained or utilized that are no longer on this board here, I'll flip over new fans at this point here. When I do that, I'm going to check to see if there's any rumblings or eruptions. If you ever hit a volcanic rumbling, that is a card that is going to go on the leftmost, or I guess it would be the rightmost slot on this game board. Red, then orange, then it would be yellow. You'll put the rumble here to insinuate that the next time an eruption happens, that players will take the base damage of 1 plus every rumble card that's on that space when this happens. And this will blow up the middle volcano area, thusly doing 1-2 damage to anybody on the purple area. Once an eruption happens, the next eruption will occur on the next space, and so on and so forth, erupting the red area, then erupting the orange area, and finally the yellow. And whenever you get erupted, you will fly back to a starting space of your choice when that happens, and you'll take the damage associated with the base of 1 plus every rumble that happened previously. So staying in the middle area of this arena can be deadly, and having the game progress too long will also be deadly when it comes to your little warrior's arena, because it starts getting pretty nasty. And that's pretty much the idea of the game. You'll rinse and repeat. The next person's going to go, receive any glory, specifically being 2 on the purple area or 2 in a die in the middle purple area. They can also gain a bonus by starting on a space with a treasure chest, giving them some unique passive ability, like becoming a zombosaur, for instance, which we'll cover in my review. But these are kind of little bonus passive treasures that you can gain throughout the game. And of course, there might be some other passive unique effects in the rulebook from the Kickstarter campaign. You'll buy your crowd cards, you'll roll your dice and use your action cards and the bonus abilities. Then you're going to go ahead and draw back up to 3 and refresh any cards here and check to see if any rumblings or eruptions happen. And rinse and repeat until 1 dinosaur is left in the arena standing, and that dinosaur is the winner of the game Saurozoic Warriors Arena. Well, let's talk about what I think about it. So let's go over some of the caveats for the Warriors Arena along with my thoughts on it. And the first thing I want to mention is this is a tactical battle arena style game. There's a little bit of area control by wanting to stay on this purple area here. And there's a want for these treasure tokens that you'll get at the beginning of your turn. It's a way to, if you're still there by the start of your next turn, you can acquire them, which they'll give you things like protection from death, but you roll 1 less die. And once you die, you lose this ability. Bonuses to your strike back, etc., etc. Being up on the purple mountain will give you 2 glory every time you're there, and being at the very top will give you a bonus attack die and 2 glory. Very, very powerful. Additionally, you have each unique character's unique special abilities. For instance, peak attack lets you roll an extra attack die, -2 defense for your opponents. There's ones that will let you gain bonuses to your specific types of rolls that you'll roll in the game, or you might just get a straight up bonus damage every single time you strike. These characters here, these fans, are one-time uses that will typically heal you, give you unique icons, allow you to add 1 to a specific type of roll, recover your HP, or even just simply give you more fame on top of the fame that you gained. That way you can gain more fans to increase your abilities quicker. Additionally, too, there's this card here called the Saurozoic. This is a 6-symbol card, and you need 6 symbols to acquire, and you only start with 5 dice. So in order to get it, you'll have to be on top of this mountain here, or gain a treasure that will give you that bonus attack die, or have a specific unique ability that gives you 1. And if you're able to roll all of them and have a unique symbol on all of them, that is going to give you this card here, which you can then trade in and attach to one of your abilities to instantly gain that ability. You won't need 3 fans anymore. It just simply gives you that unique ability. The volcano, too, like I said, it will rumble, most likely, then it will erupt, and it will do 1 damage plus the rumbles, and then based on the location, you'll take the damage of that specific area. Starts with purple, red, then orange, then yellow, and it pushes you off of the map. It gives players an opportunity to get on and off the volcano and press your luck as much as you'd like. Each of the characters has their own unique character deck with unique abilities, unique snapbacks, as well as defense cards and special powers. And of course, each of your dinosaurs also has unique passives as well. The models and the character design is cute. It's a nice style. I wouldn't say it's like super duper intricate, but it is a rather nice miniature, and your monsters are quite large and easy to tell the difference between, and the colors is very straightforward and simple, and I like that for the game. This plays like King of Tokyo, King of New York, and a little bit of Yahtzee, those styles of games where you're rolling dice, using those dice to gain the action cards to play the action cards that you've gained, and then thusly basically moving across the game board and attacking your opponents and doing straight up damage to them. I wouldn't say this is a more complicated than King of Tokyo. It's probably pretty much on the same level as that. This is definitely a little bit more aggressive. There's a little bit more dangerous decisions when it comes to the board itself and how it works as far as the volcano eruptions go. And of course, the fans, they get a little more powerful as the game goes on, and a little bit more explosive as well. The board starts exploding a little bit more often as the game moves on as well. Utilizing your die rolls is very important in this game, and making sure you remember that the hex not only allows you to move or also become kind of a wild to a previous die that you've rolled. Wounds that are grievous, aka ones that you can't defend against, are very powerful, and finding out as soon as your opponent kind of is in that weak spot and going for them and hitting them in the jugular is how you're going to win this game, because you can massively pump yourself up, but if you leave yourself one moment for weakness where maybe let's say that you played a number of your cards for defense and you wasted them in for some reason, or you went for the attacks as opposed to keeping them to use as the defense, it can cost you the game in a lot of those type of ways. So yeah, this is a cool little arena style battleground game. I wouldn't say it's super crazy innovative, but the main unique aspect to the game is definitely the volcano and how that plays a role in kind of the push your luck aspect to the game. It brings along a lot of nice easy games like the King of Tokyo style game that reminds you of how to play the game. If you know that game, you'll understand this one, but they are different. They're only similar in their mechanic to how you utilize the cards, but this is definitely more of a tactics arena style game. The artwork is great. I love the dinosaur artwork. I think it looks great. The characters are fun. They're a nice visual representation of not only the miniatures themselves on the game board, but also the fans that you'll gain. The idea of thematically where you're kind of a dinosaur battling on a volcano arena. This is definitely the big kids theme, right? Where you're just a bunch of big dinosaurs with a bunch of weapons, and you're just like gaining fans that are all along this coliseum that are kind of watching this volcano arena. And as you basically gain them and gain their trust by you gaining glory, they'll become your fans and give you unique abilities. And also all the while, that is, to gain them, it takes time, and time involves this rumbling of the volcano and this eruption of the volcano as well. So thematically and the illustrations all work very well and tie very well into this game. Now you might not notice, but there are some cards without artwork, so that is just stuff because this is a prototype. So the things that you see here, even the way the miniatures are designed as well as the quality of the plastic, is very, very likely to be updated. This is a prototype, so I'm taking that into consideration with this review. Some small things to note. One thing is that the rules state that the purple erupts, then the red, then the orange, and then the yellow. But there are only 3 areas on the game board, and it shows red, orange, and yellow. So I don't know if they changed I know they did change the rules, but I don't know if they changed the board along with the rules to where it's going to be 4 as opposed to 3. I played it just for the purpose of the gameplay, 3, 2, and then 1, but it might have been changed since then. Also, some of the cards or tiles specifically are a little more confusing. Like when you are defeated, you regain 5 health, then you discard this tile, but you'll roll 1 less fight die for the rest of the game. Does that mean while I have this, I roll 1 less fight die? When I die, I gain my 5 health and I get my die back? Or does that mean that once I discard this, I'm still not going to have that extra die? So there's just a few little ruling things they can change to make clarity on some of the different tiles and areas on the game board, as well as how the fans work. For the most part, they are quite easy, quite reasonable cards for most teenagers to easily understand, but some of the wording can be kind of cleaned up just a little bit. Things also like this grapple effect. It doesn't talk about in the rules, but you can roll 2 of these plus signs, which are basically movement or a copy, and it'll let you swap places with an opponent. So I'm guessing that is a thing you do. There are other types of effects like this one in the game. They don't have symbols, so I'm guessing you can't do those except for on the cards that you play, and that's just kind of a reference. But in this case, it not only is in cards, but it's also available here, as well as, of course, the Saurozoic, I think, which I just like a little bit more clarity. I like this game. It's swingy. There's a chance for even when you're behind to come along and win by an opponent making a mistake or the volcano erupting. And so this is a perfect game for teens. Definitely for kids, definitely for teens, people who enjoy this type of battle arena, and it's also great for adults to play with their kids, obviously. That's kind of where I feel like this audience is going to lay. It's got really high quality, beautiful artwork. It's fun. It's definitely more kid-friendly. It's not super crazy complicated. There's not a bunch of like insane things to understand about this game. It's pretty straightforward. You're rolling dice, playing the cards that you go with the dice, and you're using the dice for maybe Saurozoic or to eventually gain fans or bonus small little abilities. And then you're draw back up and rinse and repeat until somebody eventually is the last dinosaur standing in the arena. That being said, for the audience that this game is looking for, it's a really cool game. This is something that my little kid brain, when I was like 13 to like 16, maybe even younger, maybe like 11 to 16, I think younger can probably play this as well, especially with parent supervision. My head would be like boom, blowing up because I want to play something like this. So yeah, definitely a fun little game. This is a game that I would definitely recommend you take a look at, especially if you got kids, you want to get kids into the game, people that are newer to board games, and if you just like dinosaurs, then here's the game for you. Saurozoic Warriors Arena, that's the last little bit. The name bothers me. Saurozoic Warriors Arena. Like, I can't even, I took my like 10 takes to get that title right. I don't know. And then it's got a battle game afterward. I don't think they even need that. I think it's just extra to be extra. Yeah, that's pretty much about it though. It's a fun little game, it's enjoyable, and if you would like, there's a link down below right now. It's on Kickstarter for you to go ahead and pick up. Thank you guys for watching that Unfiltered Gamer board game review for the game Saurozoic Warriors Arena Battle Game. If you want to pick this up, there's a link down below. Like I said, it's on Kickstarter currently where you can go ahead and check it out. There's probably more content, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they've all got cooking up, because this is going to be a really fun family kids game. There's a website and an Instagram. Instagram, we do a bunch of reviews there as well. Brian does a great job of showing off new games, beautiful imagery, as well as lists of games that are coming out. He's a lot more hip on the times than I am as far as Cult of the New goes, so you can check out Unfiltered Gamer there. You can also check out our live streams every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. PST, except for this and last weekend because I have a wedding thing for somebody, and then I have a party for somebody else that I can't talk about. It's supposed to be a surprise on this next Sunday, but every other Sunday we do. If you like my videos and you think it's worth watching the next one, maybe it's thinking of something right for you or your kids, then you should go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, the bell button notification. I get about, I think I get like 8% to like it's 8 to 14% of people who watch my videos subscribe. So if you're in that small boat where you just check out a video here and there, realize it does greatly help me out for you to go ahead and push the subscribe button. It costs you nothing, and it does everything for me. And I notice it greatly, especially nowadays. This is getting slower for me. You know, help me out, please. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I look forward to battling it out with you in the Saurozoic Warriors Arena with you next time.